Hello, this is YouTube, Cancerman COINTELPRO, and I'm coming on tonight because I saw something in the news. The article's a few days old. It's was posted September 14th, 2011, and I really just wanted to get some people's thoughts on it. I'm going to go ahead and show you the article and the title of that article. If you can bear with me for just a second, appreciate it. Here it is. Doctors object to law banning gun questions. All right. Now, I'm not sure if this site wants this reposted, so I am going to refrain from showing the article in its entirety, and I'll just discuss, basically do an overview of the article and a response. Okay, so basically what's happening is, in the state of Florida, a law was recently passed because pediatricians were asking parents if they owned weapons. They were asking the legal guardians of minors if they owned weapons, had weapons in the home, etc. And the state of Florida decided that pediatricians were not on a need-to-know basis as far as weapons being in the home, which I agree with them wholeheartedly. Pediatricians are not on a need-to-know basis. And the reason for this being, if a child suffers from a gunshot wound, that child is not going to be going to the pediatrician's office. He's going to be going to the hospital, the trauma ward, the emergency room. So that would pretty much eliminate need to know. Now, maybe some of the pediatricians are thinking that they would like to know if any of the children that they're treating are at risk for an accidental gunshot wound or anything of the sorts, so that they can be prepared for it if the child is brought in. Well, my response to that is you should be prepared for it anyway. They're bringing the Hippocratic Oath into it. Now, I don't understand where they're coming from as far as bringing the Hippocratic Oath into this dispute, because the Hippocratic Oath is basically stating that doctors are bound to do no harm. They can treat the patient, but every treatment they administer must be for the purpose of preserving life or preserving quality of life. They will do no harm. That is the Hippocratic Oath. It has nothing to do with this situation. It says nothing in the Hippocratic Oath that the doctor is responsible for asking the parent of a minor, of a child, if they own a weapon. That's information that an insurance company would like to have access to, though. I'm going to get into that now. Every time you go into a doctor's office, the insurance company knows everything that occurred, because they're going to ask the doctor's office, what was this test for? What was this test for? We're going to cover this. We're not going to cover that. They look for ways to raise your rates and to not pay. These are the two principal things that an insurance company is looking for. They're interested in one thing: money. They're interested in money. So, my response to the ruling against this law in the state of Florida by the judge, I don't have his name right off. I'm not gonna say it. It's not that important. Others can look this up and find the judge's name as well. This judge, basically, he didn't overturn it, but he ruled against it. He basically stated, we are not going to press charges or punish doctors who ask parents of minors if they have weapons. Now, I find that kind of interesting, because they say that falls under the First Amendment, that the doctor has a right legally under the Constitution to ask you that question. My response to you, Judge, is that the parents and legal guardians also have a constitutional right to not answer that question. Understand? Now, of course, that doctor may possibly turn around and say, oh, well, I'm not treating your child then. Well, there's a way to remedy that too. Lie. If the pediatrician asks you if you have weapons in your home and you live in the state of Florida, lie to them. If you do have weapons, tell them that you don't. What are they going to do? Nothing. They can do nothing. And what they're doing with that information is they're turning right around and handing that to insurance companies so that they can raise your rates and otherwise try to find ways to not pay your claims. So I also have a suspicion on this. If a doctor asks you if you have a weapon and you say no, he's going to turn that into the insurance company. Now, if your child has an accident with a firearm, the insurance company is going to try to find ways to not pay that. Now, you see, this is interesting because you can sue them in court over that because that doctor has no constitutional right to share that privileged information, doctor-patient confidentiality. And if they're sharing that specifically with insurance companies, that is a violation. And you can believe that. And any information that a doctor wants to share with an insurance company about tests that were administered and why, that is a violation as well. Because there is a doctor-patient confidentiality in this country. So if you get sick and you go to the doctor and you're treated for something and they try to raise your health insurance rates, sue. You have legal standing. Because that doctor does not have the right to tell them what you are being treated for. Now, of course, you can't sue the insurance company, but you can sue that doctor. You can sue them right into the ground. This is YouTube. Cancerman COINTELPRO, still the unknown variable 6. I appreciate any thoughts on this matter. Anybody wants to put any responses or video responses? I'd like to see what other people have to say.